Hare Krishna. So we'll discuss about these child protection policies, which are specifically for online education. And in education, child protection is always being focused for children. As we have discussed earlier also, in one of the session, we focused only on child protection because it is very important topic to
Yes,
focus
Praveen.
on. So what is child protection? All those things we have already discussed. If you have not attended that session, you can go to that video and understand about it. But this document is specifically for online child protection because given the current situation, all the students, they are accessing internet, right? Either for education or for learning something else, but they are accessing internet. Everyone is accessing internet, but specifically for children, how we can, what are the threats and how we can protect them through those online threats. So it is important to understand. This is the document prepared by North American Ministry of Education of ISKCON in collaboration with Youth Ministry and Child Protection Office. So there are some recommendations by them. What is child protection? That we have already discussed. All the four dimensions: the physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual. What are those areas in which child need to be protected that we have discussed in previous sessions? Here are some instructions from Srila Prabhupada that I would like to read. These are some quotes from Srila Prabhupada. These children are given to us by Krishna. They are Vaishnavas, and we must be very careful to protect them. These are not ordinary children, they are Vaikuntha children, and we are very fortunate we can give them chance to advance further in Krishna consciousness. That is very great responsibility. Do not neglect it or be confused. Your duty is very clear. Another letter to High Grief Prabhu, Prabhupada wrote that please also take care of the children. They are our future hopes, and the adolescent age is the most dangerous age. It is the turning point of one's life. In this age, if you take care of the children, surely they will come out first class Krishna conscious devotees. And in another letter, Prabhupada writes, so far your son leaving you, his parents at 5 years, that is not necessary. Especially our Krishna conscious children, they are already living in an ashram. The children of our devotees may live with their parents perpetually because you are all living in the temple and already engaged in devotional service. Other instructions are for those not engaged in Krishna consciousness. Any family engaged in Krishna's service is living not in this material world. Such a home is considered as Vaikuntha. That is the verdict of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, having understood what is the importance of child protection, um, I'll read from this document that why child protection is important, specifically online. So, first is child abuse does not require physical contact. There are numerous ways that a child can be gravely impacted without being touched, specifically talking about being online. And harmful experiences online can severely damage a child's self esteem, safety, and faith. And this is more of emotional in nature because there is no physical contact, of course, but emotionally, there is a lot of exposure to these harmful experiences. Then many temples and centers are conducting classes and gatherings for children online and thus creating entry into their personal lives. The internet is a public space, as we know, with both helpful and harmful individuals. Thus, monitoring is required. And since interpersonal exchanges are not confined to a physical space as they are in person, caretakers cannot easily see what the child is experiencing. This gives way for more opportunities of abuse to occur. And compromising information or pictures or videos can be shared on mass scale using the internet. These are some of the reasons why online child protection becomes important. So as Mataji was asking that what is that online abuse? So these are some of the examples. So even when they are online, when they are not in, they are at home, not in contact with anyone else, still it is, as the first line is saying, if not more, but vulnerable to many forms of abuse, specifically emotional abuse. And that can be due to lack of supervision. That is one of the important aspects. Every time we cannot supervise them, although most of the time parents are there with children when they are online, but still there are times when they are alone. So due to lack of supervision, then increased amount of predators and bullies, that online there are helpful people, but there are so many harmful people as well. And it is not that those people has to be in the meeting, not required. There are so many advertisements, so many links which are being uh, popped when we are attending online classes. And in that way, those harmful people can access our children. These are some examples that 95% of teenagers are connected to the internet and 85% are social media users. And 40% of kids in grades 4 to 8 reported that they connected with a stranger online. So we don't find those strangers in the meetings, but still they have access to our children. So of those 40%, 53% gave their number to these strangers, and 6% revealed their home address to the strangers, and 11% met the strangers at their own home or the stranger's home. These are some statistics. Before COVID also, teenagers spent on an average 5 hours and 38 minutes online in one day. And now, because of COVID situation, it has significantly increased. And 18% of teens have considered meeting with someone in person whom they first met online. The majority of predators, 82%, are male, and the majority of victims, 72%, are girls. So these statistics are from enough.org. You can go to the site if you want more information. Then these are some of the ways in which online abuse can take place. Online predators seek out children online to exploit in a variety of ways, including sexually. They can be individuals or organizations. Such exploitation can begin with and include sending inappropriate messages, pictures, asking for private information, sexual harassment, such as unwanted flirtatious comments, or catcalling. For example, you are such a beautiful gopi, handsome boy, or stalking, for example, I know where you live. I'm just reading from this document because this is very nicely researched and compiled. And if you have any question, then we can discuss on that. Some of the points I will elaborate in between, but mostly I will read from the document because I want to complete this in this 1 hour session. And online predators can exist in a number of places, including the comment section, chats, and private messaging in chat rooms. online forums, YouTube videos, of course, TikTok, Snapchat, and all those social media platforms. Online predators are not necessarily strangers. They can be people the child or the parents know, including friends. Inappropriate messages can also come from devotees within and outside of our own communities. There are some instances of that also. And online predators can gain access to a surprising amount of sensitive personal information about devotee children simply by searching Google or Facebook for ISKCON and related keywords such as school, Sunday school, youth, teens, or children. Once a predator lands on a social media page, for example, ISKCON Temple Sunday School, they can drill down or tag or commented photos to identify the names and locations of children and begin stalking them. Unless a group status is sent to secret, so it doesn't even appear in search results. Even so-called private Facebook groups display the names with links to the Facebook profiles of each member of the group, including children. Then there are some inappropriate websites, ads, emails, tags, whose links are being popped up while the child is online for classes, for education, for um, even the festival celebrations. So children are curious by nature. We know that. With the World Wide Web at their disposal, unless governed, children can end up on highly inappropriate websites. They just want to explore. They may not be having any ill intention behind going on those sites, but they just want to explore, and therefore they click on those links where they get caught by the harmful people. Most websites have ads. Some of those ads may contain information that is inappropriate for children. Sometimes an ad can look harmless, but when clicked, it can take a child to a page which is unsafe or inappropriate. That is known as clickbait. Such links are designed to make readers want to click on a hyperlink, which then leads to content of dubious value or interest with the defining characteristic of being deceptive, typically sensationalized or misleading. In the least harmful form, this can take a child to websites with inappropriate messaging. In the worst form, it can take a child to an online predator's website. So just by seeing the link, we cannot identify which is helpful and which is harmful, because it may look an educational ad, but when we click on it, it can lead us to any of the predator's website. Tags can be generated when an unsuspecting parent, teacher, or children's program leader, or the children themselves post photos of the child or their friends on public social media groups or pages. Sometimes the social media platform automatically takes the name of the child or the parent. These leave digital breadcrumbs to personally identifiable information that predators can exploit to find out the child's legal name, parents, location, date of birth, online social media and messaging accounts, and other information. And then what do they do? What is cyberbullying? So using the internet or the electronic devices to bully a person, typically by leaving demeaning comments or by sending or sharing messages, photographs, or videos of an intimidating, threatening, harassing, shaming, or embarrassing nature. This is called as cyberbullying. For example, young adult teenagers finding embracing photos of younger teens in their community and share them in social media groups. Instant messaging platforms such as Snapchat to embrace, roast, shame, or humiliate the child. 36.5% of people feel that they have been cyberbullied. 87% of young people have seen cyberbullying occur online. And cyberbullying can happen from strangers and from people whom we know. Even well-intentioned adults, including teachers, caretakers, or youth group leaders, may tease a child privately or in front of others, thinking it's in good fun, but it can be perceived as hurtful or shameful by the child. So that is also an online abuse. Cyberbullying has a deep negative impact on the mental health and well-being of victims. Children who experience cyberbullying are more likely to have social, mental health, and behavior problems, particularly in school. And 41% of children who experience cyberbullying develop social anxiety. These are some of the information. Some more information is available on broadbandsearch.net. Then when we can understand that there is online abuse, there are some warning signs. Due to the anonymous nature and the detrimental effects of online abuse, children are generally less likely to share that this has happened to them. And it is important for parents, teachers, and caregivers to watch those signs in a child which can reveal that they may have experienced abuse. And some of these symptoms are becoming shy and withdrawn, becoming moody, agitated, anxious, or stressed, acting more aggressively towards others, skipping school, getting into trouble while in school, experiencing a dip in academic performance. They stop using computer or other devices, spending excessive time on computer, change in eating and sleeping habits, attempting self-harm or threaten suicide. That's something extreme. But through these symptoms, we can identify. So what's there for parents? We need to establish and maintain open communication with our children. That's very important in our parenting strategies also. We have discussed if we are able to give that sense in our children that they can come and share everything with us, that is the success of parenting. So we have to establish and maintain an open communication with our children where they can feel free to share whatever they are feeling. Then make sure your child has adults in their life that they are comfortable to go to for help and who they can talk openly with. Then have honest and open age appropriate conversations with your child to explain online dangers and the real harm that can occur. So it is important that through conversation we educate them what is right and what is wrong, and set up parental controls for monitoring, filtering, or blocking your children's online activity. Then install software on computers or mobile devices or gaming consoles to prohibit certain websites, and report inappropriate ads to the website. Emphasize to children that they will not lose internet privileges if they report harmful behavior. Many children don't report abuse for fear of losing internet privileges. So whenever there is an ad, if we find it inappropriate, on the top there is an small I. If we click on that, then we can report the ad as inappropriate. Reach out to teachers or administrators or facilitators to make them aware of a problem so they can be part of the solution. For teachers and for event coordinators and management, this is important to create a policy for online safety that both students and parents sign in agreement. So here is an example given from ISKCON of Connecticut. Talk to students about the dangers of online abuse in an age-appropriate manner each year. There are pre-scripted programs and videos available for on this link, commonsense.org. Then establish an effective reporting system. If you observe any concerning behavior in a child, reach out to the parents, ask them to continue observing and take action when appropriate. Know the laws on sexting. Implement safe practices while conducting online classes, such as having at least 2 adults present online. Avoid posting children's photos, videos, live streams of events, birthday announcements, or documents online in places the general public has access to that contain or could easily lead someone to obtain personally identifiable information about a child. Be aware of automatic or user-generated tagging of children in photos and viewers identifying children in comments. Be aware of the potential risks to a child's privacy and safety by doing so, even with parental consent. Some parents may not be fully aware of the risks to post photos, videos, and other content about their child in public places on the internet. Know your local laws. For example, in US, in India also there are some laws. Avoid using photos depicting any child currently under age of 13 without express written permission from their parent. So here is a suggestion that use older photos of children who are now adults in your online promotional materials, websites, social media pages, YouTube promo videos, or group profile banners. Create a safe space for children and teenagers to share with you if they are experiencing abuse or know of anyone else experiencing abuse. Now, here is what to do. Some safety tips for conducting online classes and events. Many temples and congregations have transitioned to online programs. Here are some tips that you can use to protect your children. Following such practices can help ensure a safe environment for children participating in online classes, discussion groups, and events. So first is, as far as possible, avoid live streaming or otherwise broadcasting programs aimed at children to an unrestricted audience of congregation, devotees, or to the general public. For example, those via your online temple Facebook page or YouTube channel or Instagram. Avoid publishing video recordings or photos of children at your temple or the public internet, on your website, to your public forums, email newsletters, social media groups and pages, YouTube channel, or anywhere potential predators can tag, identify by name, and possibly begin stalking a child. Then password protect all meetings. Ensure that all your meetings have a secure link and are password protected. For example, Facebook groups for members of your Sunday school or youth groups should be set to secret, not allowing the public access to view members' names or content posted in such groups. Then WhatsApp groups or similar should be monitored for safety by a responsible adult, generally the designated Sunday school teacher or youth group leader, and should not include non-essential adults who are not directly involved in teaching the class or organizing the event. So this is important. We should not allow access to the other people who are not involved in programs, whether it is an educational program or otherwise. Then make sure we have at least two adults present online to ensure only authorized people log in and join the discussion. Then lock your meeting. If your meeting platform supports this feature, after all the children have arrived, lock your meeting or otherwise limit attendance to prevent any unwanted guest from attending. You may consider asking parents to contact you via email, call, or text to allow late children to enter. And disable screen share for participants. If your meeting platform supports this feature, this can minimize the risk of kids clicking on unnecessary buttons by disabling screen share or allowing only hosts or co-hosts to share the screen. This will also prevent accidental sharing of screens with confidential information. Then private chatting, if private discussions are allowed among children during video conferencing, Facebook or WhatsApp groups, monitoring by a responsible adult is advised. Let children and parents know when you are recording. Prior authorization should be obtained from the parents if you plan to record. Do not ask for, publish, or share personal information. Do not ask children to share any personal information such as last name, birthday, or home address in a discussion group or online class. Ensure that you are not sharing any personal information either. For example, avoid identifying children by their full legal name, mentioning their age or date of birth, or posting this kind of personally identifiable information online. If you publish videos or photos of children or on your online platforms, websites, social media channels, ensure that you or others, including Facebook's automated face recognition taking feature, are not tagging the videos or photos with links to children's social media accounts, legal names, or other sensitive personal information. Then obtain parental consent. Ensure that parents are aware of and agree to online classes or chat groups attended by children. If you plan to live, if you plan to live stream any part of the event, ensure that parents and children agree to that. Information from the Child Protection Office. Okay, so this is